Hi, today going to use VirtualBox to install Debian Linux. For that you need to have a VirtualBox installed on your machine. So the VirtualBox looks like that. So for this, we need a Debian operating system image. So for that we can go to debian.org, and from here we can go to more, where you get further links to download the software. You click more, and from here we go to download, and here we have two options. One option is you can download a Debian live version, so we're gonna use that link, and from there we got two options again. So either you can download from BitTorrent, or you can download ISO image from the web format. So for that I am using AMD 64 version. So let's click AMD 64 version, and we have a lot of versions of Debian. So in Debian we have Cinnamon, GNOME, KDE, LXDE, LXQT, Mate, Standard, and XFCE. So we need to download xfce.iso. So we can click this Debian Live 10.7 AMD xfce.iso, and it's a long download, so we're gonna just click and wait for it. So now my download is finished, so we can open the VirtualBox and start installing the Debian software. For that we need to click new, and we need to give a name, and if you write Debian, so it automatically select the type of Linux and the version. So you can also choose which Linux that you would like to install here. So I chosen Debian 64, and you need to give a memory size. I have given 1 GB of memory here, and then I click create, and also we need to give a hard disk space. So here I have given 8 GB of VirtualBox disk image, and I choose dynamically allocated. Then I can click create, and after this now we need to give a path to our downloaded Debian Linux ISO. So for that we click start. Once you start, so you will get this select a startup disk, and we need to browse our Debian ISO startup disk file. So let's go there, and we choose Debian XFCE ISO, and we click OK and start. After this you will get a prompt like this. So you got two versions of Debian installer. So either you can use a graphical install or a command line kind of a install. So for this I'm going to choose graphical install. I select graphical install and enter. So yeah, you can select your language. So I'm going to choose English and continue. I'm going to choose UK. Then my keyboard, I'm going to use British English. So now it is detecting the network hardware and linking IPv6 auto configurations, DHCP configuration. Now you need to give a name. So I'm going to give a host name as Debian. Click continue, and this is optional. So I click continue again, and here we need to give a root password. So I can give a root password and click continue. Now we need to create a user. So I'll write demo-user, continue, and we need to give a password for our demo-user. So I'm going to give a password and then click continue. Now it is configuring a user and the root user password and credentials, and it is now come to a partition of the disk. So here we have got guided use entire disk, or a LVM disk, or an encrypted LVM partition. So for that we're going to use a simple guided use entire disk and click continue, and we have a VirtualBox hard disk of 8.6 GB. Then we click continue. So here you can choose whether you want all files in one partition, that is recommended for new user, or if you want a separate home partition, you can create a separate home partition. Also, you can also create a home, var, and the temp partition. So for new users, you can try with the first option, which was in one partition. Click continue, and now it has created two partitions because we chose beginner partition priority. So it has created one primary partition of 7.6 GB ext4 and a logical 1 GB swap partition. So now we can finish the partition and write changes to the disk. Click continue, and you need to choose yes to write the changes. Let's continue. Now it is installing the base system. It will take a couple of minutes. The base system is almost completing now. It's asking for whether you need to use a network mirror. For now, we say no. Continue. So it says whether you want to participate in package user survey. So we say no. So now you can choose what you want as your desktop environment. By default, because we are using XFCE, so it is going to install Debian desktop environment and XFCE and some standard utilities. So all three are checked, and now I click continue. Now it is going to install all the desktop items that are required for running a XFCE Debian an instance on a VirtualBox. So I'll get back at the end of this installation. It might take like 2 minutes. Now it is installing the grub bootloader. So install the grub bootloader to the master boot record. Yes. Then click continue. So now it's going to ask where you need to install your grub bootloader. So I will install dev/sda, which is my virtual hard disk. Then click continue. Now it is installed grub bootloader to the master boot record, and that's the end of installation of Debian. Now we can continue and it will reboot in a minute. Okay, now your Debian is booting, so we can choose Debian from here and click enter, and you will enter into your VirtualBox installed Debian operating system. Okay.